What's up? How's it going? It's Jeeves on YouTube, and welcome to the second LoL tips. Today we're looking at ranked, and primarily when to play ranked, as in literal time and sort of time in your league career, if you will, but also some other ranked tips and advice and stuff. The second part is only really for those people who have already started playing ranked, and you can click the annotation on screen to go there now, but before you do, there will still be some stuff that you might want to listen to in this first section. It's not all just for people who haven't started playing, it's just general advice for ranked as well. But for those of you who haven't started playing ranked and are watching this bit, or if you just want to watch this bit anyway, let's go. So my biggest point, and this is people who haven't started playing yet, is don't play as soon as you hit level 30. And you'll probably heard that from someone else, and if not, just it's not the best idea for the simple reason that there is a decent sized gap between level 29 and level 30, and it doesn't feel like there will be or there should be, but for some reason there is. And it's not that people are necessarily better. I think it's because you're now at a level where people have been, and possibly have been for many years, if they've been playing a while, and they may not be the best, but they have experience on you, and that is a key thing. So you want to play at least a few games, or maybe wait a few days and play some games in that time before you kick off your ranked career, for the simple fact that you're going to do better. You're going to be more geared up to playing against level 30s, and that's a big thing to keep in mind. The other thing is, well, another thing is to be in the mood to play ranked. If you're not feeling great, or if you're not feeling happy or anything, just don't do it. Be ready, be raring to go. You want to be at your happiest, you want to be at your strongest, you want to be at your best, you want to be able to go and play and win and do well. You don't want to be playing if you feel down or upset, because you're not going to focus as much, you're not going to want to play, and you're going to want to just do well, and when you don't, you'll get even worse. So it's just something that you have to know, is that you should only play ranked when you want to, not when you feel like you should. Another thing is that be friendly and happy and compliment your allies. If you're talking to them and chatting to them and having a joke between you, you're going to do a lot better than a team that are shouting at each other or ignoring each other straight up. It's much easier to play with a team who will get along and like each other than those that really just don't, because you're going to want to help your allies more, you're going to want to save them, and you're going to just generally do better. But following on from that, also just relax. Don't take this game too seriously. It is only a game. You can always make another account if you really have to, but even then I wouldn't recommend it. It's just chill out. When I first started ranked, I thought it was the most important thing in the world, and I just panicked every time I started doing horribly. But it really doesn't matter. If you relax, you're going to be able to compensate for it better, you're going to be able to get better, and maybe just help your team even if you can't help yourself. And that's really important, because that means that you're going to be happy, you're going to be more comfortable, and you're going to play better and enjoy it more, and that's what really matters in this. And listening to music can sometimes be really helpful as well. If that's what you kind of like, I will often just put on a League playlist, or, well, not necessarily just League, but a playlist of songs, and just not rock out. That sounds really cheesy. You know what I mean? I'll just sit there and listen to the music. If I'm not doing great, I'll just sit there while I'm dead, let go of my keyboard and mouse, and just listen to the music for a little bit until I respawn. And most of the time then, I'll be feeling happy, I'll be feeling more pumped, and I'll be thinking, right, now let's go and turn this back around again. And that is really important, is that you need to be able to turn it around for yourself. Again, sort of combining earlier points of the fact that don't play if you're hungry or tired or ill or anything like that, because you're going to not do as well, you're not going to be as focused, you're not going to be in it as much as you need to be. And while it's important to stay relaxed, just know that it is really meaningful for a lot of people, and people play ranked to win, they don't play it to learn, they do that in blind pick. And that's something that you just need to do. You need to be at your best, not only for yourself, but for your team. And if you're losing games in a row, say if you play a couple of games at ranked and you've just got to that stage where you've just unlocked ranked and you lose a couple, I would recommend stopping and waiting until you feel more comfortable again. So go and play some more blind picks, maybe wait another couple of days and then see how you feel. If you're up for it, go and give it another shot. Again, if you lose one or two, maybe go back to blind pick. By all means, you will get games where you feel as though you never had a chance to begin with. And while you can always put blame on yourself, and I always try to put blame on myself, for example, you need to know that some games just flat out aren't winnable. So maybe their comp might be better to the extent that once you're not doing great, you can't come back from it, or something like that. And by all means, know that every game is turnable, but also be able to accept that a lot of the game, the likelihood of turning it is so low it might as well be impossible. So kind of know when to stop, and that's in game and after game. So know maybe when to stop and leave it for a while. That went really off topic of that point, but oh well. But yeah, so going back to the point again. So if you start losing a couple of games in a row, maybe just leave it for a day or two. Maybe leave it overnight. Come back feeling refreshed in the morning and start again. And be prepared for people to be really, really eager to win. That's, like I said, that's all people really play ranked for, or that's all most people really play ranked for, and they will get mad if they don't, and if you die, they will probably get mad at you, and it's so dumb, because it is only a game. But you've got to be prepared for it. You've got to be prepared for the guy who screams at you for feeding his lane when you've died once, and he's died like 20 times. It happens. But you just got to learn to not ignore people, but ignore the comments, because moving on from the not ignoring, communication is essential in ranked. It is the single thing that will win you a game. If you're communicating the other team aren't, doesn't matter how. Well, obviously it does matter if you're sort of bronze 5 and the other team a challenger, they're going to beat you pretty much no matter what. But if you're communicating better, you have a much higher chance, because then you'll be happy, you'll be more willing to help your teammates, as I've said before in a previous point. As you can see, a lot of these are interlinked in the sense that communication is going to get you victories. If you can communicate with your team, you can ask for ganks, you'll be more comfortable around the people, and you don't have to worry about pissing people off, because you feel as though you're friends with them. So I think that is about it for the pre-30s and pre-ranked players and tips. Now I'm just going to move on. It's only a quick little one for you, those of you who are post-30 and already playing ranked, is what physical time should I play? And bearing in mind, none of the stuff I've said is completely set in stone, but it's just what I've sort of picked up, and especially this thing. This is just something I've noticed over probably a couple of months, where there seem to be certain times of the day where the people tend to get worse, in the sense that they're not playing at their best and they're not doing as well, and they'll be faster to get angry and faster to blame you and all that kind of stuff. And I found that generally the times that happen is around lunchtime, so between 12 and about 1:30, so midday to about 1:30ish, people will just not be as good. And I know that sounds like, oh, I was playing perfectly, but my team was feeding. No, that's a load of shit. You're always a part to play in it. But it seems to me, from what I've found, that people just don't play as well. And whether that's just because they're hungry and haven't had lunch yet, or I don't know what the reason could be for that sort of time. That's kind of a weird one to me, but it's something I've just noticed over a little while, as I said. And a similar sort of thing happens after 10 or 11 PM, where people just stop playing as well, and I'm guessing that's because they're getting tired and because their reactions are going to be slow and all that kind of stuff. But from what I've seen, people you get matched with, and yourself, all of this will include you, where you may not notice it, but your reactions are going to be slower because you're more tired, and you're not going to be able to play as well, and that can be infuriating for you and your team. So yeah, it's just be careful of those times. So be careful between 12 noon and 1:30, and after about 10 or 11 PM, because that tends to be when people start to lose focus a bit and start not doing as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys. This was LoL Tips 2 on Ranked, and I will see you next time. Later.